Have you ever found yourself lying in bed at 2 a.m., your mind racing with thoughts, ideas, and worries, despite being physically exhausted? That frustrating cycle where your body is begging for sleep, but your ADHD brain just won't shut down. If you're nodding right now, you're definitely not alone. I'm Dr. Emily Thompson, and after 12 years of specializing in ADHD treatment, I've discovered there are specific nighttime routines that can completely transform how people with ADHD sleep and recover. In this video, I'm going to share the exact techniques that have helped hundreds of my patients finally get the restorative sleep their ADHD brains desperately need. Tell me in the comments if you've experienced those endless nights where your thoughts just won't quiet down. I read every comment, and it helps me understand what you're going through. This video is specifically for those of you with ADHD who struggle with sleep issues, whether you've been diagnosed or just suspect you might have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. If you find yourself mentally wired at bedtime, constantly reaching for your phone at 1 a.m., or waking up feeling like you barely slept at all, this information is critical for you. As someone who's worked with ADHD patients for over a decade, I understand the unique challenges you face at night. Your brain operates differently. That dopamine-seeking, novelty-craving ADHD mind doesn't naturally wind down the way neurotypical brains do. I know how frustrating it can be when people simply tell you to just go to bed earlier or just put your phone away, as if it were that simple. They don't understand that your brain's executive functioning works differently, especially at night when your medication has worn off and your natural coping mechanisms are exhausted. The nighttime struggle is real, and it's affecting far more than just your sleep quality. It's impacting your ADHD symptoms the next day, your work performance, your relationships, and even your long-term brain health. If you're finding this information helpful so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps more people with ADHD find this important information. Let's dive into the 5 critical nighttime habits that can transform sleep quality for people with ADHD. These aren't just general sleep tips. These are specifically tailored to how the ADHD brain functions and what it needs to properly recover overnight. First, let's talk about the dopamine wind down. What is it? It's a structured 30-minute transition period before bed that gradually reduces stimulation while still providing enough dopamine to keep your ADHD brain satisfied. This is crucial because the ADHD brain is constantly seeking dopamine, that feel-good neurotransmitter that helps with focus and satisfaction. When dopamine levels drop too quickly at night, your brain panics and starts seeking stimulation, making sleep nearly impossible. Why is this so important, specifically for ADHD? Research shows that people with ADHD have differences in their dopamine receptors and transporters, which means you can't just shut off stimulation cold turkey like neurotypical people might. You need a gradual transition that keeps providing small, decreasing amounts of dopamine while preparing your brain for sleep. Here's how to implement this. Start by setting a 30-minute timer before your ideal bedtime. Begin with a moderately stimulating but calming activity, like reading a physical book, not on a screen, about something interesting but not too exciting, listening to familiar music that you enjoy but doesn't hype you up, or doing a simple hobby like knitting or drawing. Then gradually transition to less stimulating activities, perhaps gentle stretching followed by deep breathing. The key is consistency and the gradual step-down approach, rather than jumping from high stimulation to nothing. The second crucial element is what I call strategic light management. This goes beyond just avoiding blue light. It's about creating a specific light environment that signals to your ADHD brain that it's time to produce melatonin, which many of my ADHD patients struggle with naturally. Why is this especially important for ADHD? Studies have shown that many people with ADHD have delayed melatonin onset, meaning your brain naturally starts producing this sleep hormone later than neurotypical people. This is part of why you might feel more alert and creative at night. But by strategically managing light exposure, you can help reset this pattern. Here's how to apply this. 2 hours before bed, dim all the lights in your home to about 50% brightness. 1 hour before bed, switch to red spectrum lighting only. You can buy special red light bulbs for your bedroom, or even use red light therapy devices, which some of my patients find helpful. Wear blue light blocking glasses during this time if you absolutely must look at screens. The red spectrum light actually encourages melatonin production while still allowing you to see and do your wind-down activities. This isn't just about avoiding screens, it's actively creating the right light environment to work with your ADHD neurochemistry. The third critical component is what I call body-brain temperature regulation. This is a technique that leverages the connection between your core body temperature and your brain's sleep signals. Why does this matter for ADHD specifically? Research has found that many people with ADHD have slight dysregulation in their circadian temperature rhythms, which can interfere with getting quality sleep. By manually helping this process along, you can override some of those ADHD-related sleep difficulties. Here's how to implement this. Take a warm shower or bath about 90 minutes before bedtime. This will initially raise your body temperature, but the cooling process that happens afterward naturally triggers sleepiness. Make sure your bedroom is kept cool. Between 65, 68 tagi-tagi, 18, 20s is ideal. Use breathable, lightweight bedding that allows for temperature regulation. The combination of the cooling after warmth signals to your brain that it's time to sleep, helping override the typical ADHD tendency to remain alert at night. Many of my patients with ADHD find that weighted blankets also help with this temperature regulation, while providing the deep pressure that can be calming for the ADHD nervous system. The fourth element is thoughtful nutrition timing. This isn't just about avoiding caffeine. It's about strategically using certain foods and timing your eating to work with your ADHD brain chemistry. Why is this particularly important for ADHD? People with ADHD often have more sensitive reactions to blood sugar fluctuations and certain food compounds. Your ADHD medication may have suppressed your appetite during the day, leading to evening hunger that can interfere with sleep if managed improperly. Here's how to apply this. Avoid eating large meals within 3 hours of bedtime, as digestion can interfere with quality sleep. Instead, if you're hungry in the evening, opt for a small, specific type of snack about 60-90 minutes before bed. The ideal snack combines a small amount of complex carbohydrates with tryptophan-rich proteins. For example, a small portion of oatmeal with milk, a banana with a few nuts, or yogurt with a small amount of granola. These combinations help your brain produce serotonin, which then converts to melatonin. Avoid high-protein or high-fat snacks right before bed, as they're harder to digest. Also be mindful that some people with ADHD are more sensitive to certain food compounds like artificial colors or preservatives, which might affect your sleep quality. The fifth and perhaps most powerful component is what I call the brain dump and tomorrow map. This technique directly addresses one of the most common complaints I hear from my ADHD patients: the inability to quiet their minds at night due to racing thoughts, brilliant ideas that suddenly appear, or anxiety about forgetting important tasks for tomorrow. Why is this crucial for ADHD specifically? The ADHD brain often experiences a phenomenon called revenge bedtime procrastination, where you finally feel free to think about all the things you've been suppressing during the structured day. Additionally, executive function challenges make it harder to organize thoughts about upcoming responsibilities, leading to bedtime anxiety. Here's how to implement this effectively. Keep a physical notebook, not a phone or tablet, next to your bed. About 20-30 minutes before you plan to sleep, write down everything that's on your mind. Tasks you need to do tomorrow, ideas you don't want to forget, worries you're experiencing, or even things you're excited about. The physical act of writing helps externalize these thoughts from your mind. Then take 5 minutes to create a simple, realistic plan for tomorrow. Not an overwhelming list, but 3 to 5 key priorities organized in the order you'll tackle them. Research shows that this kind of mental offloading is particularly effective for people with ADHD, reducing the cognitive load that keeps your mind active. You're essentially giving your brain permission to stop holding on to all these thoughts because they're safely captured on paper. I've seen these techniques transform sleep for hundreds of my ADHD patients. Take Michael, for example, a 34-year-old software developer who came to me after years of sleep struggles. He was typically falling asleep around 2 a.m., despite needing to be up at 7 for work. After implementing just the brain dump technique and the dopamine wind down for 2 weeks, he was consistently asleep by 11:30 p.m. and reported that his ADHD symptoms during the day were noticeably improved. His exact words to me were, "For the first time in my adult life, I don't dread bedtime anymore. I actually look forward to my wind-down routine." I recently received this comment on a previous video that really touched me. "Dr. Thompson, I tried your brain dump technique for just 1 week, and I've already noticed I'm falling asleep about 40 minutes faster than before. My racing thoughts aren't gone completely, but they're so much quieter now. Thank you for understanding that ADHD brains need different approaches. Thousands of people with ADHD have applied these specific techniques and experienced significant improvements in both their sleep quality and their daytime ADHD symptom management. The research backs this up too. Studies have shown that ADHD-specific sleep interventions can improve executive function the following day by up to 30% compared to general sleep advice. This isn't just about feeling less tired. It's about giving your brain the recovery time it needs to function at its best, despite the challenges of ADHD. Tonight, I want you to try just one of these techniques, the brain dump. It takes less than 10 minutes, requires only a notebook and pen, and has the potential to quiet your mind significantly. Don't worry about implementing all 5 strategies at once. That's overwhelming and not realistic. Just try the brain dump tonight, and if it helps even a little bit, add in the strategic light management tomorrow night. Small, consistent changes are what create lasting results, especially for those of us with ADHD who can get overwhelmed by too many changes at once. Remember, your ADHD brain deserves proper recovery time, and these techniques are specifically designed to work with your neurobiology, not against it. You wouldn't expect a unique, powerful sports car to run on the wrong type of fuel, so don't expect your unique, powerful ADHD brain to fall asleep with techniques designed for neurotypical minds. If this information is helping you understand your ADHD brain better, please take a moment to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people with ADHD find this critical information that isn't widely taught, even by many healthcare providers. I'm committed to bringing you evidence-based strategies specifically for ADHD brains, and your support helps me continue this important work. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you tried any of these techniques before? Which one resonated most with you? Or if you found your own effective nighttime routine for ADHD, please share it below. Your experience might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear. Lastly, if you know someone else with ADHD who struggles with sleep, please share this video with them. Sleep difficulties are so common with ADHD, but rarely addressed with specific tailored approaches. Your share could be the turning point someone needs to finally get the restorative sleep their ADHD brain has been craving. Thank you for taking the time to invest in your brain health. I'm Dr. Emily Thompson, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore more strategies specifically designed for the unique strengths and challenges of living with ADHD.